Hello, we are working on a 1990 Toyota 4Runner 3.0. I was having issues, fuel-related issues. The engine would start, it would kind of stumble for a few seconds, and then it would eventually die. I tapped a fuel pressure gauge into the cold start injector. That it is a special banjo bolt to do that. So I have a fuel pressure gauge on it, and when you would start the engine, you would see the fuel pressure come up, and then you would just watch it slowly down, and it would chug, and then it would die. Some research kind of showed that that can be related to this circuit opening relay here, which is located in the right side kick panel. You have to take the glove box out to get to it. Mine was actually stuffed down in this hole here. So I pulled that out, and looking on Identifix, I had found kind of a wiring, troubleshooter. And it was saying to check for voltage on basically these four wires here. The white red wire, that is key on battery voltage. This larger black white wire, that is 12 volts while the engine's cranking. So while you're cranking the engine, you should have 12 volts on this guy. The blue wire, that goes to the fuel pump. So while you're cranking the engine, you should have voltage here and here. And I did have that. Actually, everything here that was right. I had battery voltage here, I had battery voltage there while cranking. I did not have voltage on the blue wire after it had started, and I could actually manually actuate this relay. I could just squeeze it together there, and that would send power to the fuel pump, which would make it run. So the relay is actually bad. The green yellow wire, that wire comes from the airflow meter. That wire is grounded once the airflow meter opens. So the airflow meter, it opens, and it basically tells this relay, hey, the engine is now running. We don't need to, get power from this wire. We now just get power from this wire and send it to the fuel pump. This white black wire here is ground. I didn't actually end up needing that wire because I used my conditional ground right here. So anyway, this relay is about $100, which is stupid expensive. I have a lot of relays laying around at the house, and was like, I could probably just cut that $100 relay out of there and just install one of these $10 ones. Probably work just as good. So what I did, after kind of standing there thinking about it, looking at this diagram, you can see we've got 5 terminals here, 80 on the right side there, 86 and 85. Those are your low amperage. So that's when you put power and ground to those two, that's what actuates the relay and actually switches it from, because when the relay is, when you don't have power and ground going to these, the relay is connected to 87A and 30, and then when you energize the relay, it switches from 30 over to 87, or I guess from 87A over to 87. So I connected the fuel pump, I connected the blue wire there to 30, and then I connected 87A to that black white wire, that one that energizes while you're cranking. And then for the relay, I used the ground that comes from the airflow meter. So when the airflow meter opens, it'll ground this side of one side of the relay. And then I used the voltage. I actually connected 87 and 85. You can see right here. It's the green and red wire on this relay. So I've got 2 wires going into one butt connector there, and those are connected to key on power. So the key on power that supplies, once this relay is energized, it's supplying power to not only the solenoid inside the relay, but also to the fuel pump, which is not that big of a deal. Anyway, so yeah, $100 relay fixed with a $10 relay that I had on the shelf. I guess this is a pretty common problem for higher mileage Toyotas. And like I said, I wasn't willing to spend $110 on a dumb relay. But anyway, I guess just for some other diagnostic stuff, if you don't want to go digging into that, this is the airflow meter, and you can see that green and yellow wire. That wire is the same wire that goes over to that relay. So if you ground that wire, the fuel pump should run. So if you ground that wire here and the fuel pump doesn't come on, that relay is what's in between it. I believe that wire also does come over to the diagnostic port over here. And I did see somewhere where you can jumper battery positive over to that, or I don't know. I didn't really read much into that, but yeah. So that should be a pretty cheap and easy way to eliminate that $100 solenoid or relay and replace it with a cheaper one that works just fine. So I'll turn my key on, push that button. You can watch. Yay. Works just fine. Put it back where I found it and put the dash back together now.